What's up, everyone? Welcome to Play Hard and Love Big Radio, the official podcast of Spotted Dog Yoga and SUP, based out of Folsom, California. Check us out at spotteddogyoga.com. Play Hard and Love Big Radio is dedicated to bringing you the inspirational people and stories to help you connect to your center and live a more purposeful and passionate life. And I'm here today, Nick Clark, co-hosting with my amazing wife, Katie Clark, and we are going to be talking about the importance of getting exercise and staying active, even when you're on vacation. That's what we're talking about today. So what do you think about that, Katie? Why is that important for people?
Well, we were just talking about it because we just got back from visiting Nick's family in Colorado. But then we were talking about all the trips we took this year, and how much of a difference doing that made in going on vacation. I don't know. In the past, if I've like gone on certain vacations, like especially like the beachy type vacation, like we did. Nick and I went just us without the kids with our really good friends to Mexico. And so in those types of environments, it can be easy to just kind of like lounge by the pool or whatever. But and especially because we were drinking more than we normally do. But on this trip, the four of us, just would get like a little drink and then we would walk down the beach, and we walked a ton. I mean, every day, like my calves got sore from walking on the sand. And I think it just, even though we did drink more than we normally do and we were eating food that we don't normally eat, I didn't feel like it took as much effort to like get back into our routine when we got home in terms of like what our nutrition and our exercise and that kind of thing. Whereas in the past, when we've gone on vacations and been more, chilled out, not doing as much movement, it's hard. It's like, and plus I don't feel good. I didn't feel that bad when we got back from Mexico. We should have felt a lot worse based on the amount we drank and ate, I think. But I think just the fact that we were just walking and walking and walking each and every day so much made all the difference. And then on our trip to Victor with the kids, and then also on this trip to Durango with the kids, we made a point of getting out and hiking and doing other things each and every day. And I just feel like it was just so much easier to get back into everything that we do that's healthy when we got home.
Yeah, most definitely. I was thinking about that trip to Mexico. I mean, maybe the reason you didn't feel as bad as I did when I got back is because you aren't 40 yet.
Well, that was why we went, is because Nick turned 40. But no,
Yeah.
I'm 39. I'm only a year younger. I don't know. I mean, it could have been so much worse. Like if we had been, drinking that much and eating things we don't normally eat and then not doing all that walking. I just feel like it would have, I don't know, I would have felt terrible.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I love going places with people who are not sedentary and
Yeah.
who are active people. That's who we are every day, and that's who we attract into our lives. And um, when we go on vacation, like we just did to Durango to see my family or to Victor, the first thing that I think about is what kind of stuff can we do outside while we're there? That's right away what I want to do. I don't want to sit around and drink all day. I don't want to sit around and eat all day. I don't want to like take a nap in the middle of the day. I don't recharge like that. I recharge by getting out into nature and getting on hikes and being around people who are doing the same thing. And I not only do I think that's super important for people like you mentioned so that they can stay in the routine when they get back home, but I think it's really important for people because they get outside of their comfort zone and they go and they explore things and see things that they wouldn't have seen otherwise. I Durango, for example, is a place that I spent a majority of my life. I went to college there and grew up there, and I know that area really well. But every time that we go back, I always discover something new about the place that I didn't discover before. And the things that I've done before that I do with you and the kids or our family, it's almost like I'm rediscovering them in a whole new way. And I think for me, in the role of father and husband, what it offers me an opportunity to do when we're adventuring on trips is to really to show our kids, implant the seed in our the minds of our kids of the importance of going out and exploring and not being afraid of the world, and really seeing and being willing to see different things and meet new people and try new um, challenges. It's like an invigorating way to recharge yourself. Now, that being said, I do like to get a good night's sleep on a vacation as well, but I always sleep so much better because we're so active throughout those
Yeah,
trips.
you get worn
Yeah.
out. Makes it easier to sleep in an unfamiliar environment. And I was also thinking, because these trips we took were more like nature based, like, right, you're on the beach, super easy to just walk up and down the beach. It's beautiful.
Hmm.
And then we were in the mountains the other two times. So hiking is available. But I was thinking, like, even if you go and you're visiting like a city, if you were, I think about times where we went to San Francisco and we would walk everywhere, even if it was far. I mean, we weren't like taking taxis and driving around. We walked. And I think you can do that even in cities. Of course, sometimes you do have to take other forms of transportation if it's like really far or you're trying to get a lot of stuff done in one day and see a lot of things. But there's so much value in walking places, even when you're in cities. I think about our honeymoon when we were in Italy. And when we would get to each new city, we walked. Like we we did drive a car through Italy, but when we get to where we were staying, from there we always walked wherever we were going. And I think we discovered a lot of things that we wouldn't have, like you said, if we were getting places differently. So I think it's really important to just understand that, like, you might have certain plans for your vacation or certain things that you want to see, but if you are traveling in a way that you're walking or biking or more active and you're able to stop somewhere that you come upon, it provides spontaneous experiences that you didn't plan, and sometimes those are the best.
Totally. Another thing that's important to talk about too is setting yourself up and preparing yourself to be active on your vacation. So if you're going someplace and you're going to want to hike when you're there, it's
Or
important,
walk.
or walk or run or whatever, something like that. Any activity, you have to first and foremost pack clothing that is going to allow you to do that. If you get there and you don't have shoes, and it makes it, and you just have flip-flops, and you want to go on a mountain hike, then it limits you right out the gate. So what I've found is packing appropriately for the destination that you're going to so that you can get the most out of the experience by being prepared to get out into adventure is really important. It's like the very first step in creating a habit so that you are able to do those things. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and it just, I don't know why, but when you were talking just now, it made me think of our retreats. Like, that's what we do on our retreats. Like, if you're interested or have heard about our retreats, they're very active. Like, you will have time to rest and rejuvenate as well. But on top of doing yoga, we're always out hiking, paddleboarding, biking, horseback riding, whitewater rafting. I'm trying to think of all the things we've done on different retreats, but that is how we plan our retreats, is to be more of an adventure where we're outside as much as possible and doing as much activity as we can, and then also balancing that out with some rest and getting some good sleep. But yeah, I think it's a really fun way to take vacations, and it's a really less jarring way as far as like it's not as much of a life interruption to
Mm.
take a vacation in that way, because you feel good when you get back because you've been active.
There's probably no better time to talk about it. And we didn't really talk in detail about our trip to Victor, but we are headed in August of 2024 with an amazing group of people on a retreat a hiking, stand-up paddleboarding, and yoga retreat to the Grand Teton Valley in Victor, Idaho. And Katie and the boys and I went up and explored the area, which Katie mentioned already in this podcast. But what was your favorite memory, your favorite story from that trip to Victor, Idaho with the boys? And why do you think people should take a serious look at joining us to go on this retreat that's coming up, Katie?
I don't know that I have just like one distinct favorite memory, but what I just loved about it, and our kids too loved it so much. Like Owen's like, I want to go back to
Yeah.
Victor. When are we going back to Victor? But it's just so stunning. I mean, it's on the border of Wyoming. It's 1 mile from the border of Wyoming. So it's just the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And just the place where we're staying, the scenery, just when you walk outside the door of your room or cabin, is breathtaking. It makes you want to be outside. You don't want to not be outside. I think it was the same for our kids. Like, even there were moments where you and I needed to like get ready to like go to dinner or something, and we're like just trying to take a shower or whatever, and they're just wanting to go back outside, but we're like, no, you're too, they're little, they're 3 and 5, so it's like they can't just go by themselves. But that, and then just, every day we took our kids on a different hike, and they were so different. All the hikes were so different, and it was just such a wonderful experience. And having little kids like that, they went pretty far on these hikes. And I think it was partly because it just felt like such an adventure. You just feel like you're in a place that is untouched, it's pristine, it's beautiful, and I don't know how anybody could not have a great experience. So
There's this process I read about the other day. It's called rewilding, the rewilding process. And I love that term because the concept was created by this man who takes people on 72-hour retreats. And in the 72-hour retreat, they eat a lot of meat and they go outside a lot and they learn breathing techniques and they do some yoga similar to what our retreats are like. But the main thing for him and his retreat, and what our retreats also ultimately do for people, is it helps people disconnect from the constant information that is being broadcast to us through technology. And when you disconnect from that and you get back into the wild, you start to see things that you would have never seen before. I mean, unfortunately, so many people drive around on their cell phone, and it's so sad to see because they have no respect for other people's lives or their own lives. It's incredibly dangerous. And if you're doing that, you should stop. But what I noticed too is when people are doing that and they're driving around, they're not seeing, not only are they not seeing the other drivers around them, but they're not seeing the scenery and the animals and the different things that are happening in life around them. And I remember one specific hike that we went on with the boys. We went on this really neat hike up through some waterfalls and whatnot, and back down and past the stream and over logs over a stream. And it was amazing. And afterwards, Owen was riding his bike in the parking lot, and we were just all enjoying and sucking in this beautiful mountain air and scenery. And we had no cell service at all. We weren't like using our phones. We were just super interconnected with each other. And I remember driving down and leaving. And this is a favorite story of mine, not for you though, because you're not a huge bird level lover, but it was really cool, right? We're on this dirt road, and on this fence post, as we were driving by, we stopped, and there was two hawks that were on this fence post, big hawks, like, I don't know, what would you say, 10 feet away from us?
yeah, really
Maybe.
close, really close.
Really close. And one of them had a mouse, I believe, in its
Some
talons,
sort of rodent. Yeah.
right? Some sort of rodent. And it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is right here in front of us. And our boys are looking at it. And it was just like being put right back in the wild and connected to having a deeper connection to the earth and the amazing wonders that the earth has to offer. And I just feel like that has changed me and our kids and our family forever. So I'm grateful for that. And I 1000% believe that you should take a look into the retreat to the Grand Tetons that we're putting on at the end of August. There's some spots
Next
available
year.
for that, right? Yeah, next
Mhm.
year. So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
about half full.
half full. Cool.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thank you for another great podcast, Katie. It was amazing taking the time to chat with you. I had a great time with you in Colorado, hiking around, and certainly looking forward to doing some more of that with you and with more people. Play Hard and Love Big Radio is the official podcast of Spotted Dog Yoga and SUP. Check us out at spotteddogyoga.com. Play Hard and Love Big Radio is dedicated to bringing you the inspirational people and inspirational stories to help you connect to your center and live a more purposeful and passionate life. We're available for listening on all the different podcast platforms, including an all video format on YouTube. So follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and push the alert button so you get notified every time that we put out a new episode. Thank you, Katie, and thank you everyone for listening and sharing Play Hard and Love Big Radio. Have a great rest of your day.